All right, hey, how's it, everybody? It is a little bit after 5 p.m. West Coast time, and I'm gonna call it a little bit after 2 p.m. Hawaii time, and so on and so forth, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I'm Mad Saturday today, and we've got folks in the house, and I don't know how it gets to be so late after the hour because I stepped away to do one thing, and then suddenly it's 9 minutes past the bottom of the hour, the top of the hour, and my hair looks gross and everything. All right, so I hope you're having a good day. It's hot here. It's 78 degrees. How hot is it where you are at? And because it is hot here, what did I decide to do? I decided to drink some coffee. So hold on. My coffee is almost ready. And so I'm going to maneuver some things. You know it's fresh when you've got the little single serve thing on top of the cup. Now, this is my local creamer. Not creamer, half and half. Smith Brothers, out of Kent. If you're familiar with this area, you know that Kent is very close. And now it's too hot for me to touch. All right, so I'm going to say aloha to Terry in Scotland. Looks like he might have been here first. And let's see here. We've got Darlene saying aloha to Mad Statter and everybody. And Darlene, thank you so much for getting subscribed for a million years in a row. Thanks to Rick. Good to see you, Rick, by the way. We missed you yesterday because you were up doing things of important natures. And let's see here. We've got Darlene and Rick and Rick, and Rick and Terry and Rick. And now we've got Shock, and she's been abandoned by the giant dog. I would like to know a little bit more about this giant dog, Shock, because I thought that you were being held hostage by Kitty these days. So there's a dog that's holding you hostage now? Interesting. I would like to know about that. And let's see here. We've got Mama Sean on that there YouTube side, and DJ Smook is also in the house. And let's see here. Oh, so many words and so many things and so many eyes that don't work like they used to. Let's see here. Trail Dust also in the house. Good hair would be okay with shiny lips. I have shiny lips. I put on my lippy glossies. This is my lippy glossies that I use. I put it on. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, thank you so much for those 1,000 biddies. And it's nicer today, says Darlene. 64 degrees. Yeah, dude, it was 68 degrees here outside. And Mama Sean has a toasty 91 in the desert. Loving it. My house is currently 75 degrees. And I'm not really loving it. I got to admit, it's just, this is not, I like my house to be like 64. So, yeah, I'm not uncomfortable, but I'm not ideal. I feel like I need a frosty cold drink. So that's why I'm drinking hot coffee. That doesn't make sense. But speaking of frosty cold drinks, we will be talking about one of those shortly. But before we talk about frosty cold drinks or anything like that, we're going to get the party started. I mean, if I can find the button. Here's the button. Sorry about that. You had to look at the kitty cat eyes while I was cleaning my eyes. I was cleaning my eyes with something I stole from work. I steal these from work. That's right. I'm going on record right now. I steal these from work. They're glass cleaners. They're lens wipes. I am someone who steals from work all the time. I steal paper clips, not on purpose. They just end up in my possession. And these, I do take these on purpose, because here's the deal. I like to see. And so if I ever had an interview at those Brinks Armor Warehouse trucks, you know, one of the questions that they ask you is, have you ever thought about, or have you ever thought about stealing from work, or, you know, have you ever stolen from work, or blah, blah, blah. Because if you say no, because, okay, first off, before I go into this, y'all know what the Brinks trucks are, right? They're the armored trucks that bring money to and from the banks or the grocery stores or whatever, you know, the ATMs, etc. They're the armored trucks full of cash. So when you're interviewing for them, they do ask you, like, do you ever fantasize about, you know, would you ever, you know, have you fantasized about, you know, stealing, blah, blah, blah. And if you say no, they know you're lying and they will absolutely not hire you. Because the reality is everybody has daydreamed, even for just a second. Oh, wow. Wouldn't it be like to, you know, to, wouldn't you like to, what am I saying? I just read something and I got my lost train of thought. But, you know, everybody for a second is just like, wow, what would it be like to steal all this money and have all this money? Then a second later, your brain goes, oh, it'd be awful because they'd be on your butt for the rest of your life, blah, blah, blah. But at least for that half second, you do daydream like, imagine what it'd be like to have all that money. It's just human nature. And so when you absolutely lie about that, they're just like, well, you can't be trusted. And so, I would brag about all the stealing that I do. And at least they didn't ask, have you stopped stealing from work? There is no way to answer that. That is a catch-22 of a question, isn't it though, Rick? And let's see here. Trail Dust, you stopped by work. You stopped by work this week. Why? What'd you do? Now, I hope what you did is you walked into work and you pointed and laughed. You know what I hope you did. I hope you did this. Come on, everybody, you know what we hope he did. Ha ha. And let's see here. Yeah, and Darlene and Mama Sean, etc. Of course, you would be freezing your okole off if you were in my house most of the time. And I do think about that often when I wake up and my house is like 58 degrees and I'm just like, oh, it's wonderful. I do think about how few people in the world would agree with me on that statement. And most people would love to have a 75-degree house. They spend lots and lots of money to keep their house at 75 degrees all year round. I, on the other hand, don't. And Terry, I think, I might know why you couldn't stretch out the movie last night. You edited a copy of it right. I think you didn't set the aspect ratio before I copied it. That could be because it was an edited copy. So that is totally within the realm of possibility. And yeah, Darlene, exactly. Are you missing work, Trail Dust, or what's the deal? And so one of the guys is using your employee ID in the vending machine. You gave him the ID to see how long it would work after you're gone. Oh my goodness, that is so funny. And so I guess then, Trail Dust, what's the report? Is your ID still working for the vending machines? And I guess more importantly, are you charged for the items that he uses? How does that work? Like, you go to the vending machine and you just get like free stuff if it's you? Or like, why do you need an employee ID to do the vending machine? Why do you need an employee ID to do the vending machine? I guess is my first question. I have a lot of questions, but let's just start with that one. And your work delisted you as soon as you left the building. No delay there. And Mama Sean says, they cut my email access the day after I left, but left my access to control their Facebook until this week. And your ID is still working after a month. But still, though, I do have to wonder, Trail Dust, does this mean you have to pay for everything that he's bought under your name? Like, how, or, huh? But I love that you're testing this out in the most inconspicuous way. I mean, it's totally no harm, no foul. This is just sort of I can only hope and assume that this is going to be seen as, when and if you ever get caught, I'm going to assume this will be a funny thing. There's really no security national secrets that are being leaked here by Jeff eating a Snickers under Mike's name, right? I don't know your name, Trail Dust, so actually, no, I do. Isn't it Scott? So yeah, Jeff You know what I'm trying to say, and you know what? You might not be Scott. I'm just making names up. I make stuff up often, just so you know. Yeah. These are supplies for welding and such. Oh, it's a vending machine, not like a Snickers, but a... Oh. Well, then that's a whole horse of a different color. And I do hope it doesn't come to bite you in the butt there, Mr. Trail Dust. I hope that your friend is totally like, you know, no, we're, you know, mister. I mean, it's funny, but when it's more than a Snickers bar, things get a little more serious. I just want to make sure you ain't gonna get no trouble, sweet pie. Just want to make sure you ain't getting any trouble. And, Darlene, though, speaking the truth, Darlene said, I like cooler temperatures, though, for sleeping. For I like to cuddle with blankets and such, and it's always more comfortable when it's cooler. Just me anyways. No, Darlene, it is not just you. I have a huge, fluffy, heavy Ugg. You know, like Ugg boots? Well, they also have comforters and blankets. I have an Ugg comforter that is like the warmest, coziest, most wonderful comforter in the world. But it's warm. And so, unless it's really cold out in my house... Cold out in my house? Whatever. I can't use it. But on the other hand, I don't sleep as well without using it. And so I purposely bring my house down to the coldest, just so I can use my most wonderful blankie. And Chuck, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't live with you. I couldn't. 80 degrees, I could not sleep in 80 degrees. Oh my goodness gracious, I couldn't sleep in 80 degrees. But I know you're totally, you are totally not me, and you're a little reptilian, snaky, bask on the sun crocodile. And I mean that in all the, I mean that in with all the best. I know that those are really weird things to say as a compliment, but those were meant as compliments, by the way. It's cooler downstairs. Yeah, I figured you all live up in the hot attic. Attic. And Pussycat, cold front went through, and now it's in the lower 70s. Hey, Pussycat, you know what? Your lower 70s cold front is way more Florida-oriented than that snowy cold front you had earlier this year. So, I am not, I'm gonna say 70s is good for you. And Picola Tea, don't even, yeah, Unfortunately, y'all, Picola Tea is really speaking the truth. The only truth that isn't truth is I am not a Mrs., I'm just a Ms., but yeah, that there minnow of the pausing, yeah, the pausing of the minnows, when those minnows stop swimming, let me just tell you right now, hot blankets during a hot time is just not acceptable. But trust me, Picola Tea, when it's 58 degrees in your house, those warm blankets are wonderful. But the moment it hits to be like 65, yeah, no, dude, the blankets come off. The blankets come off. And, let's see here. Rick, however, I have not yet turned on the AC to cool off the wood burner 90s heat wave. Yes, and Pussycat, your wife suffers from hot flashes. Dude, your wife isn't the only one who suffers. My best guess is, if you're close enough to her, you probably suffer too, because you'll be able to feel the heat radiating off of her, I mean. But, yeah, it sucks, dude. And I'm gonna try and get a weighted net blanket for the weight, but not for the warmth for summer upstairs. I have seen those, and I've thought about that too. Any kind of cooling blanket or weighted, I think I do need to look into that. So if you get one, Shock, definitely, like, I don't know, talk about it and let us know, because I'm very curious. And let's see here. So now we're talking about, I don't know what we're talking about here. So hold on. I gotta figure out what's going on here. Oh wait, Darlene. When you left the office, everything got changed. The office locks, even when I turned my keys, and the vault combination got changed the next day. had control of the funds of the office, so security was necessary for anyone in that position. Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so Shock is telling Picola Tea, Ben's Chili Bowl, U Street, reopened on Friday. Doug and I went there today. What is Ben's Chili Bowl? I can assume it's a chili restaurant, I guess? But how does Picola Tea know about it? Well, that's a stupid question. Picola Tea knows everything because she's been everywhere. But tell us about the chili. Is it Cincinnati chili? It better not be. What kind of chili did you get? Did you get green chili? Did you get red chili? Did you get chili with beans? And let's see here. The wood burner is up north, and Rick isn't joking. It gets really heated up fast with the wood burner. Oh, heck yeah, it does. I have no doubt. And, you're talking hot dogs now. Okay, okay. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland coming in with the science of it, but not the experience of it, is what I'm going to guess. Fluctuating and declining estrogen levels are the primary cause of hot flashes, most commonly occurring during perimenopause and menopause. These hormonal changes disrupt the hypothalamus and the brain's temperature regulation center, causing it to misinterpret slight changes in the body temperature as overheating. In response to this perceived heat, the body initiates a heat dissipation response that includes vasodilation, widening of the blood vessels near the skin, increased heart rate, and sweating to cool the body down. This process results in the sudden sensation of intense heat, flushing, and potential night sweats. And, Shock, you've never had a hot flash before. You are, you're really lucky, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Most of my hot flashes happened at night. But when they don't, it doesn't matter. They suck every time. And, okay, so Ben's is an iconic chili and hot dog place in DC, several locations now. Got it. They have beef chili, veggie, and turkey chili. I got beef with cheese and onions. That sounds delicious, but you still didn't really answer the bean part. And Ben's open in 58. Awesome. See, and that's the kind of thing that I like to see, is people supporting local chains, local franchises. I mean, sure, it might not be a weird, yeah. Okay, sure, you might not be going to the original location, although it sounds like Shock might have been. But it doesn't matter, because even the satellite locations are still part of the original institution. Just like Dick's Burgers here in Seattle. I don't know exactly where they started out. If it was I think they started out maybe in the University District or maybe Greenwood. It doesn't matter. They have since, expanded all over the city and a little bit outside the city. They're iconic. They've been around since the 50s. They're locally owned and operated. They have great wages. Their product is consistent and yummy. I mean, it's not gourmet. It's not, the burgers are less than $2. They're not going to win any culinary awards, but they're delicious. And Picola Tea, I was so happy to see a Ben's Chili counter at the Nationals ballpark. Way to represent. Awesome. Yes. And I know this is sort of weird because we talk about food a lot and everything. I've never had a chili dog. Is that weird? And consequently, I don't really understand how do you eat a chili dog? Do you eat a chili dog with a knife and a fork? Or do you eat a chili dog like a hot dog? The reason why I ask is it seems like you would need to eat one with a knife and a fork. Because chili is gloopy. Hot dog buns are soft. Okay, so you use your hands. Or you can use utensils. How much chili is on the dog? I mean, how does it not... There you go, Trail Dust. We talk about food a lot. We do. And we're going to talk about food later on today. I mean, you already knew that, right? You knew we were going to talk about food, right? It is messy AF. You use mustard and onion. Midnight Frequency Radio. I use a fork so I don't waste as much chili. See, that's kind of where I think I would be lying, because yeah, I mean, I don't even have the words for it. And so, because it seems like a lot of chili would be falling off. And a lot of the toppings, say the onions, would be falling off. Bits of the mustard, I guess, if mixed in with chili. That sounds weird, not gonna lie. I know that mustards and hot dogs, like, go hand in hand, like peanut butter and chocolate, but mustard on a chili dog, I'm not gonna argue with you. In fact, put mustard on your chili dog and you will guarantee I will not ask for a bite. So, awesome, you do you, but that just seems weird to me. Then again, this is coming from somebody who's never had a chili dog. Now, my next question, DJ Smook, I eat chili dogs like, okay, so I eat chili dogs like regular hot dogs, but then I use the spoon to eat the fallen stuff on the plate or boat. Darlene, both, depending on how much chili is on the dog and what kind of bun, if a sturdier bun. See, Darlene is picking up what I'm laying down, man. This is, oh wait, so Shock is saying the Ben's dog is iconic with mustard on the bread, under the dog, and the chili. Oh, so you've got to have the mustard with the Ben's. Okay, now, if you have cheese on it, is it melted shredded cheese, or is it shredded cheese that may or may not melt, or is it a cheese sauce? Like a nacho cheese sauce, only not nacho flavored? You know, what kind of, but chili, no beans only, says Mama Sean. And that is what I've been asking the whole time. It's like, are there beans in the chili? Because if there's no beans in the chili, I'm much more inclined to try this concoction. And so, let's see here. You make a hot dog and add chili on top. Well, so it's just it's not a special texture, like, because sometimes chilies are really chunky, and I feel like, don't know if that would work. And Quilty, it's a handy way to use up chili when you don't have a full dinner-sized serving, just enough left over to cover a couple hot dogs. Okay, so you don't necessarily pile on the chili, it's more just like a condiment. Okay. And, great, craving a Texas-sized chili dog right now, says DJ Smook. Okay, so Shock is saying that Ben's has grated cheddar, but Shock is also saying, sadly, Ben's has beans. And, that is sad, Shock, that is. And Pussycat's just like, why all this discussion? Just get one and eat it. Okay, he didn't actually say part of that, but it was implied, heavily implied. And let's see here, Midnight Frequency Radio states, if you have a Sonic in town, try a foot-long quarter-pound coney. Okay, we don't have one in town, but we do have a Sonic close enough for the effort. So I might have to do that. And let's see here, DJ Smook ordering a chili dog with the works. And let's see here, keeping in mind, says Shock, Ben's was selling to less affluent for a really long time until it became iconic. Got it. And, okay, so Mama Sean is coming in with, it depends for cheese, sometimes grated, sometimes the plastic cheese, yellow cheese sauce. Now, I know that this is controversial, but I kind of feel like the plastic cheese sauce might be more appropriate than the grated, just for even melty, not fall off the dog purposes. But this is coming from someone who's never had one, so what I just said could be blasphemous. I recognize this. And DJ Smook coming in with those conies rock. And I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that DJ Smook has had one from Sonic, because Sonic is all over Texas. Sonic is not all over the Pacific Northwest, but Sonic is all over where DJ Smook is at. So I'm going to guess that he actually knows the exact hot dog that Midnight Frequency Radio is referring to. And let's see here. The best chili dogs in Wichita were at Der Wiener Schnitzel, foot-long chili dogs. You know, we used to have Der Wiener Schnitzels out here, but we don't anymore. No more. And, let's see here. You can get your chili dog without mustard if you want, but that's kind of how they do it normally. Well, you know, I would at least try the the way it's supposed to be. And then I generally try to do that, unless it's something that's just like, oh no, I do not eat escargot on top of spaghetti. I'm not gonna eat whatever that is. But unless it's something that's just wrong, like escargot on top of spaghetti. By the way, I don't know anybody that does that. I was just making stuff up. I would try it the way it's supposed to be first. And let's see here. Midnight Frequency Radio. I have a feeling that might also be the case for a lot of people, including myself. I love them, but they gas me up. Yeah, they do seem like something that might make you make noise in the night. And so, let's see here. DJ Smook coming up with the concoction. Hawaiian sweet bread bun, Costco hot dog, mustard, relish, mayo, ketchup, loads of chili, and loads of shredded Mexican cheese with crema or sour cream and pickled jalapenos. Oh my God, DJ Smook. That sounds like that's your creation, right? And that sounds like you would need a knife and a fork. I don't care who you are. You would need a knife and a fork for whatever it is you just want to call that. This is the Smook dog. And Mama Sean, we do Sonoran dogs here more than chili dogs. Mama Sean, remind me again what the Sonoran dog is, because I remember hearing about them, and I remember thinking, that sounds kind of good. But for the life of me, I can't remember what a Sonoran dog is anymore. So, could you remind me, please? And, and not just remind me, but let Darlene know what one is to begin with. Darlene, I can tell you this, it's a hot dog, with toppings, and it was created in Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, but other than that, that's all. I think it has pintos on it, I think it's got bacon on it, I think it's got maybe some green chilies on it, but I might be lying. Here we go, though. Terry in Scotland coming in with reality. Sonora, Mexico is where it came from, but it's big in Arizona. In the late 80s, beef frankfurter wrapped in bacon. Yes, see, I knew there was bacon. Grilled, served on a soft Mexican-style bolillo. I don't know how to say that, so we're going to call it a bolillo roll. Topped with pinto beans, diced tomatoes, onions, and a combination of mayonnaise, yellow mustard, and jalapeno salsa. I could eat that. I could totally eat that. And let's see here. Picola tea, quick poll, kraut or no kraut on the hot dog. Ketchup or no ketchup on the hot dog. I can take it one step further. I do enjoy a good kraut on the burger, or excuse me, on the hot dog. I don't require kraut on the hot dog. As far as the ketchup goes, ketchup and mustard on a hot dog is delicious. Just plain mustard on a hot dog is lacking. But I do something that will make all of you very angry. I like to have a hot dog with cream cheese and ketchup. Yep. Did you hear me say cream cheese? You did hear me say cream cheese. Cream cheese. Cream cheese on a hot dog with some ketchup. It's so yummy. Another thing I do is I've got these pickled red onions, and I mix the pickled red onions with the cream cheese, and then I put ketchup on it. So no kraut on a hot dog, but definitely a brat. I do like ketchup and mustard on a dog. Ketchup belongs on a hot dog like pizza belongs on pineapple. And back in the late 80s, Sonic used to have a foot-long chili relleno that was to die for. A chili relleno? Wow. I'll bet you they had to stop doing that because they don't make chili rellenos like that no more. Well, that was a little self-evident. I mean, a chili that big that they stuffed with the cheese and they fried it, that's got to be hard to find those chilies, is what I'm trying to say. Pussycat says ketchup is acceptable, and Picola T exactly just outed myself as a Seattle person. Because in Seattle, we have what's known as a Seattle dog, and Seattle dogs always have cream cheese. And it sounds weird and gross. I'm not gonna lie, it does. But if you've got a toasted bun and some softened cream cheese, try it one day. Just try one. Just try one. Okay? Add what you want. Add onions, add kraut, add mustard, add ketchup if you will. I like the ketchup. But do what you will, but then just add a little cream cheese in with whatever it is you normally do. And then you come back to me and you tell me we're wrong. You won't. You won't. You won't. Not even. And Darlene, you aren't the, and Rick are probably not the only one, but you say kraut on a brat, but not a hot dog. No kraut on a hot dog, but definitely a brat. Why? I'm not arguing. I don't eat a lot of brats, so I don't know like what makes a brat kraut worthy and a dog not. Because like I said, I do eat kraut with my dogs every once in a while. And so, like, you've got this rule, and it seems like it's probably a good rule for a good reason, but what's the rule and what's the reason? So Rick is saying, I want pickle relish instead of kraut on the hot dog. And brats, blah, blah, blah. Shock, brats are often served with kraut anyway, not even on a bun. Okay. And Picola T, anybody have a puka dog on Kauai? They sound gross, cored and filled with fruity relish, but they're actually delicious. Can you define fruity relish? Like mango, pineapple, guava? Because that doesn't sound good to me. So can you define fruity relish? I've heard of hot dogs that are cored out so you can put a pickle in them, but fruity? I mean, I understand that tomato is technically a fruit, so there's that, but I don't think that that's what you're talking about. So, just curious is all I'm saying. And it doesn't, Picola T, doesn't look like very many people here. If C. Honda was here, she would probably be the most likely one to have tried it, because she's our Kauai connection, right? Right. Now, Pussycat, grilled or boiled hot dogs. You know, Puzzy, I'm not gonna lie, I like them both ways. My favorite way for a hot dog is, grilled with a little bit of that smokiness over the fire with the char marks and stuff. Without a doubt, my favorite. But if you can't do that, like a good old simple old-fashioned boiled, it gets the job done. You know, I used to be about pan frying them and this. Unless it's over the coals, I generally am gonna boil them. Unless it's over coals, in which case that is just the best. And okay, Mama Sean suggesting kraut cuts the fattiness of the brat, but that's not needed with the hot dog. Okay, that sounds reasonable. Darlene's like, I don't really know why exactly. It just seems that brats are a sausage more, and at least in the Polish house I was brought up in, kraut was always with sausages, but not so much with a hot dog. It's just a different kind of sausage. Totally makes sense, Darlene. Actually, it's just like, I don't know, it's just how I always edit. It's just how I always edit. And let's see here. The highest rated hot dog is Teton Waters Ranch 100% grass-fed beef. Ranked number 1 in the recent Cheapism taste for having a complex beefy flavor, slight grassiness, and the quintessential hot dog texture. I wonder how much those hot dogs cost. I know that Nathan's cost about $5 for a pack of 8? I'll bet you those Teton ones cost about $12 for a pack of 8. I'll bet. And let's see here. Mama Sean, boiled is nasty. Oh, wow. Somebody just... Wait, who just... Hold on. What is going on? Did you guys do something fancy with my You guys did something fancy with this stream. We actually had a... I did not do... Cola Tea, what did you do? You did a thing, and it's a thing. And who puts cottage cheese on their... Y'all... You did a poll. Awesome, Shock. That's awesome. But who puts cottage cheese? Thank you, Shock. But who puts cottage cheese? Somebody right now. You need to... I love cottage cheese. It's never occurred to me to put it on my hot dog. I'm gonna probably try it because you said it, but I want to know, your ex put cottage cheese on his dogs. You were the one, Shock. Of course you were the one. Of course you were the one. Darlene, honestly, to tell you the truth, one of my favorite hot dog toppings as a kid was a boiled hot dog on a buttered hot dog roll. There you go. Hot dog on a buttered hot dog roll. It was just, the simplicity was perfect. I really enjoyed just the bear dog. I guess to put it in a more disgusting way, I loved just raw dog in it. All right, you guys. So we've got 1 minute till our Lono listening break, and I am spotting a cat outside my door that I've never seen before. It is a black and white cat with white socks. Interesting. We have a new interloper in the yard. I don't know what this tuxedo cat wants from me, but we have a new interloper outside the front door. Never seen this kitty before. This is breaking kitty news at Statter's Kingdom. I don't know where Leo is, but he's nowhere to be found. Leo is normally the one who it protects us from such shenanigans. Wait, what? What are you talking about, you guys? I don't know what you're talking about, but it looks like you're talking about vanilla ice cream with peanut butter, and that sounds good to me, but apparently not. And, all right, it looks like, did I see Andre in the house? Hey, Andre, thank you so much for subbing. Okay, you got, oh, and gifting subs. All right, cool. So, oh, wait, the worst thing was that he put vanilla ice cream with peanut butter in it. It smelled so bad. I think that sounds really tasty, actually, but whatever. All right, so we're 1 minute past our Lono listening break, and I will tell you this. This Lono listening break was chosen with a theme in mind. We have not touched the theme yet. We got distracted by hot dogs, which is a great thing to be distracted by, frankly. But who knew we'd get distracted by food? After our Lono listening break, we're going to be talking about some things, and some of it's food, but not all of it. But, we're listening to this Lono listening break, and perhaps you can figure out what the theme will be when we come back. So enjoy the song, and if you want to take a guess about what the theme will be when we get back, by all means do so. But right now, well, I would like to see what your guys' guesses are. But right now, just listen to the song.
All right. Saddle up. Let's go. There is a man named Jimmy D. the Shell. Imuha Molokai Paniolo. E ana paakane Molokai Ranch. Imuha Molokai Paniolo. Me Molokai Niahina. There is a man named Cowboy Tsuka. Imuha Molokai Paniolo. E hana paakane I a kaula ili. Imuha Molokai Paniolo. Me Molokai Niahina. These, just a few. Molokai. Paniolo! You know, there is a man named Imonaki. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Eana Pa'akane U'ohoku Ranch. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Me Molokai Nuia. There is a man named Gotiwa. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Eana Pa'akane Kapuale Ranch. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Me Molokai Nuia. Two more. Molokai. Paniolo! You know, there is a man named Buzzy Sprout. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Eana Pa'akane Molokai Mule Ride. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Me Molokai Nuia. There is a man named Damien Place. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Kila kila na Paniolo a o Molokai. Imura Molokai, Imura Molokai Paniolo. Me Molokai Nuia. These, just a few, Molokai. Paniolo! You know? Seria. Hayabukako!
All right, there you have it. And no, we're not talking about cattle prime rib. No, we're not talking about cowboys exactly. Instead, what we're talking about is the horsey race that took place yesterday. Did any of you all watch the Kentucky Derby? I did not watch the Kentucky Derby, but I did hear about it. And then I went and looked up a quick little video about it and was like, whoa, dude. Horse burgers, well, Rick, funny you should say that, because one of the horses that was scheduled to be a burger, yeah, they won. They're going into the race, the Kentucky Derby, going into the race. The horse that won has literally come in last every single other race it's been in. It came from behind like nobody's business. And I'm going to make you watch. I am going to make you watch it. It's like a minute long. So, it's not that bad. But, oh man. Now I'm upsetting Teeter. Well, yeah, but Teeter, I'm sorry, Teeter, but I don't want no horse burgers. And, this particular horse is not going to be a horse burger anytime soon. So check this out, y'all. Cause for real, this is this is what makes horse racing. To me, the idea of horse racing is just sort of silly and stupid. But oh my God, dude, this is what people must go to for a horse. Like, if you're going to a horse race to see anything, it's what happened here. So check this out, y'all.
There he is. Oh my gosh. He's already starting to move now down the backside. He was 5 or 6 behind the last horse. Great ground-saving trip by Jose Ortiz. Sometimes when you're that far back, Mike, that everybody makes their decision already, and you're left a lot of open lanes. Now he'll shift him out as he knows he's going to run into trouble if he doesn't, and he takes aim on his brother. And what a tremendous kick by Golden Tempo.
That's a lot of ground to make up in the stretch of the Kentucky Derby. He's 7 or 8 lengths back at the top of the stretch still.
The numbers on how far he ran are going to be amazing, right? Wow. And this is the pedigree of this horse. He has been dead last or second to last in almost every race he's run, but made a charge like this at a moment like this. A historic moment, Nick Luck.
Truly, Mike.
So, Golden Dimple. Well, hold on. Golden Dimple. I thought it was something else. I thought it was called Golden something. Either way, as Darlene said, woman-owned and run horse training stalls, etc. I believe it's the first time a female horse trainer has ever won the Kentucky Derby. So it's a big deal for a lot of different reasons, but regardless of the female-owned, which is lovely, and it's unfortunate this is the first time this has ever happened, I'm just amazed at how that horse just... I mean, this is the stuff that movies are made of. In fact, a movie might be made about this whole little situation, right? Let's see here. So pretty much betting Mama Sean saying, pretty much betting they were pulling that horse up to bring up the odds. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case as well. On the other hand, even still, that is a gamble. You know, you never really, like, even if you think you know your horse can do it and you're holding them back to manipulate numbers and things like that. And I don't know, I feel like it was an impressive run, right? And, Pussycat, I honestly am shocked to hear that most of the Kentucky Derby horses come from Florida. I honestly, truly just sort of thought that horse scene was really more of a Tennessee, Kentucky situation. It never occurred to me that the horsey set would be so big in Florida, but apparently there are a lot of top breeders in Marion County. Okay, there you go. And Mama Sean, I had a press pass for Long Acres when I was younger since my dad did their advertising. Nice. Wow, you are an old timer local in Long Acres. Yeah, Long Acres does not exist anymore. For those of you who don't know, Long Acres was the Seattle area horse racing track. It has since been closed down, and Emerald Downs is what the horse racing track is now. And I don't think it's at the same location. I think it's at a different location, but I might be making that part up. And and let's see here. Golden Tempo. Yeah, Golden Tempo, that was it. And let's see here. Andre's saying, so there are Florida men and Florida horses. Are the horses also called crackers, like some of their riders that ranch in Florida? And then Shock is saying cracker is an English term for a really good horse. I did not know that. And yeah, Darlene, exactly. Golden Tempo was flying. And so did they give him a Red Bull? Quite possibly. I don't know if that's an illegal an illegal supplement to give your horse. And let's see here. Andre, Florida cracker is a historical term for early Florida pioneer settlers, specifically the cattle ranchers and cowboys who operated in the state from 18th to 20th centuries. The name originates from the often loud cracking sound of the long whips used to hurdle cattle. Not hurdle. Don't hurdle the cattle. You herd the cattle. Don't hurdle the cattle. You herd the cattle through the dense Florida swamps, leading to the name cow hunters or cracker cowboys. Okay. And Bacola T coming in with her true colors. Horse races can be really exciting, though. I'm a gambler, so Used to go to Long Acres Racetrack after work back in the day. I'd make a wager, grab a hot dog, sit in the stands, and watch the horses run. Yeah, you know, that's sort of what it seemed like Long Acres was all about. I never understood, like, there always seemed to be a race. And, let's see here. Terry in Scotland coming in. Most Kentucky Derby horses are bred in Kentucky, specifically in the storied horse farms of central Kentucky around Lexington. See, this was always what I thought, but I also know that I don't know nothing. In the 2026 edition, all but 2 of the 20 scheduled contenders were born on these central Kentucky farms. This trend is consistent with historical data, as Kentucky has bred 113 of the 147 all-time Kentucky Derby winners, accounting for the vast majority of champions in the race's history. And Mama Sean coming in, Japanese and Arab owners are taking up the sport so much. And Puzzycat, I thought it was 23-1 odds on the Golden Tempo, but yeah, 21-1 odds on that horse. Either way, that would have been a nice one to throw $1 down on or something, right? And Andre, they're trying to close down a lot of horse racing track because a lot of the horses are dying in California. And wasn't Hurl the cattle of Monty Python thing? Yeah, didn't they put him in their what? Their catapult, their trebuchet, whatever it was that they were attacking the castle with. And Andre, not at all surprised that California is trying to shut down the horse racing circuit, but I can also say with a fair amount of certainty that that's never going to happen in other states. It might happen in California. In fact, I have no doubt that it eventually will, but that's not gonna, that ain't gonna fly ever. Like, no, that's just not gonna happen in other states. And, let's see here. Pecola T, did you know these famous racetracks have drinks? The Kentucky Derby has the mint julep, and the Pimlico has the black-eyed Susan. And exactly, Darlene, I was wondering that. What is a black-eyed Susan? But, Pecola T, before you tell me that, I want us to all, well, I have a question for all you guys. What do you think this is? Any ideas what these are? What this is? You know what these are? And, if you don't know, maybe this will give you a hint. Do you know what these are? Do you know what these are? Darlene, good guess, but those are actually what I just showed you in this picture. They're actually 10 to 12 ounces, each of them. They're sterling silver, and each of these cups is worth about $50. The set here is about $210 if you want to buy it. That is correct. They are mint julep glasses. Now, do y'all want to learn how to make a mint julep? Y'all want to learn how to make a mint julep? Because I'm going to show you how to make a mint julep. Actually, I'm not going to, but I've got this other one who is going to show you how to make one. And I'll tell you right now, it sounds really gross.
Today I'm going to show you how to make a traditional mint julep, one of the oldest cocktails in existence and also one of the best. You just need 3 ingredients: bourbon, mint, and simple syrup. We're going to build this drink right in the glass. You can make it in a glass like this beautiful Kentucky Derby silver cup. A rocks glass works just as well. So we're going to start with a pinch of mint, 8 to 10 leaves, half an ounce of simple syrup. And now muddle this just to extract the aromatic oils in the mint, but not to pulverize it. Now we can add our bourbon. 2.5 ounces of that. When making any cocktail, measuring is really important. Cocktails are all about balance, so a 1/4 ounce in either direction can sometimes make the difference between a good and a really bad drink. So always measure your ingredients. So we've got all our ingredients in here, and we want to add our ice. Crushed ice really is best for mint juleps because it melts a lot faster and also stretches it out. This is a very stiff drink. It's like 85% bourbon. If you don't have crushed ice at home, you can easily just crack some with the back of a spoon, or you can put it in a blender or food processor, but I really recommend crushed ice. Just a few times. And then just give it a gentle stir just to get that dilution going, blend the ingredients. You eventually start to see some frost appear on the outside of the cup, and you'll know that the drink is ready. So just finish it off with a few more cubes on top. Now we'll garnish it with the most beautiful sprig of mint we can find, and you are all set. And remember, the mint julep is not just for the Kentucky Derby. You can enjoy these all summer long. If you like this video and you're looking for more tips to step up your bartending game, subscribe to the GQ channel. We've got lots more where that came from.
Now, personally, Picola Tea, I agree with you. You got to twirl the stick before you mix that drink. That is true, I think. But the key here is you want to make sure that the outside of that metal cup gets frosty. And let's not forget what he just said that drink was. That drink is some crushed up mint, simple syrup. Do y'all know what simple syrup is? Simple syrup is simply a 1-to-1 ratio of milk. There's no milk in simple syrup. Of water to sugar. So 1 cup water, 1 cup sugar. Dissolve it all, you've got yourself some simple syrup. 2 cups water, 2 cups sugar. Quarter cup water, quarter cup, you know what I'm saying, right? So you get yourself the simple syrup, just a little bit. You get yourself the flippin' flirpin' bourbon, not the whiskey, the bourbon, because it's Kentucky, remember? So it's sweetened bourbon over ice with mint. That's all a mint julep is. And to me, that sounds horrific. But the real deal is, it's got to be frosty cold. Frosty cold on the outside. The whole point of the mint julep is that it's an ice cold drink meant to stay ice cold for as long as you've got it. And so, Rick coming in, the classic Black Eyed Susan, vodka and rum with orange juice, pineapple juice, and orange liqueur such as triple sec. Well, that sounds like a hangover waiting to happen. It also sounds like something I would like way better than a mint julep. So, I might have to try that. Hold on, wait. Yeah, actually, for some reason, Andre, I thought I did say bourbon, but my brain said rum. Yeah, vodka and bourbon, I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm on that same page now that I realized it's not rum, it's bourbon. Well, I'm still willing to take a sip off of somebody else's, how about that? And muddling is a funny word. And let's see here, Pussycat, I make the best dry martini, 1 ounce of vodka, and just 2 drops of vermouth. Yeah, that's definitely a dry martini. I've heard, and I don't know how true this is, but I've heard that another way you can make a nice little dry martini is you put the vermouth in the glass, and then you swirl it around just so the glass gets coated with the vermouth, and then you throw the rest of the vermouth in the sink, and then you do the whole, vodka ice, shaky, stirry thing. And then, but Pussycat, just 1 olive, 2 olives, 3 olives, 18 olives. How many olives in your, in your martini? And, how do you make a complex syrup? Good question. And I think that those would be, what we call the shrubs, the complex syrups. We call those shrubs. And let's see here. Should you chill the glasses then before mixing? Honestly, Darlene, I've never read, and he didn't indicate that. I've never read that that's the case, but also, can't hurt, right? I mean, can't hurt might help. So, let's see here. Picola Tea, all I know is that after a couple, I was feeling pretty happy. There you go. And, so Pussycat, you put an olive and an onion in your martini. Interesting. I thought the onion was what you're supposed to do with the Gibson. And yeah, Darlene, we will absolutely choose the Black Eyed Susans over the mint julep any day as well in this house. And not a bourbon or whiskey girl. Nope. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland is saying the most popular and official drink at the Belmont Stakes is the Belmont Jewel, which has held its status since 2011. This bourbon-forward cocktail is simple to prepare, typically made from bourbon, lemonade, and pomegranate juice, making it a favorite for mass production in the track. Okay, well, that actually sounds acceptable if you like bourbon, but once again, no, can of that. And yeah, just not a fan of the bourbons. And so you do 2 to 3 olives or onions. I see there. Okay, all right. So you like some vegetables with your dranky dranks. Can't hurt, might help. There we go. Can't hurt, might help. All right, so we have covered the cup. We've covered how to make it. We've actually covered what we're talking about, but do you know what else is associated with the Kentucky Derby? Because you can't just be drinking them their mint juleps without a little something in your belly. But what you're going to be eating in your belly is got to be much more delicate and refined and sophisticated than, say, a chili dog. Right? Hats are definitely associated with the Kentucky Derby, but I didn't do anything about hats. Today I just did stuff that we normally talk about, food and drink and booze-a-hall and stuff. And Darlene, yes, indeedly do. I do like a good Long Island iced tea as well. Takes just one. A lot of alcohol in there, but with the tea and the fruit juice, it goes down smooth. Hey, Darlene, did you know that there's no tea in a Long Island iced tea? Just so you know, there's no tea in a Long Island iced tea. Not a lot of fruit juice either, just so you know. They use Coca-Cola, they use cola to give it the brown color. A Long Island iced tea is all of the white booze. Gin, rum, tequila, vodka, triple sec. Triple sec is the fruit juice that you're tasting. And then they put that in there, and they do a squirt of cola, and then they do a floater of 151 on top, and usually you've got a lemon wedge. That's a Long Island iced tea. There's no... It's amazing how something that is virtually entirely alcohol tastes so good with so little mixer. But yeah, dude, like for real, it's not tea. And it's not tea. And I call BS on tenders for the Derby. They did not exist for much of the Derby history. And let's see here. Hold on. Okay, so Terry in Scotland is coming in with chicken tenders are the best-selling food item at the Kentucky Derby and the Churchill Downs. Sold at a dedicated stand called The Coop. These hand-breaded tenders are available. Yeah, those might be the most popular, but those are not classics. Those are not a classic Kentucky Derby situation. Other popular concession choices, flatbread pizza, totally not a classic Derby thing. Pulled pork sandwiches, that might be kind of classy. The Kentucky hot brown, absolutely a classic Kentucky thing. And then we've got burgoo, which is a hearty stew, and shrimp and grits also remain staples for the attendees. Yeah, okay, fine, but they haven't mentioned the real deal, which is this. Y'all know what this is? Any idea what this is? This is a classic Kentucky Derby finger food, either at the race or parties. And it is supposed to be green like that. And you're close, Darlene, but not quite. I mean, I guess it is a version, but this is a very, very specific sandwich. Created in Kentucky. And they're called Benedictine sandwiches. And some people like them to be green. They always have slight green tint in them due to their ingredients. But as you can see, some of these ones are like a little greener than others. And people like that one's a little greener than others. Some people actually put food coloring in the spread to make it more green. Other people use green chili to make it green. They look like 1950. Exactly. These are way more classic. They're usually, like I said, in the triangle finger sandwiches, crustless. Sometimes it's on the little rye, the toasted rye slices. And Terry in Scotland coming in with, and actually, I think this sandwich was created like in 1902 or something crazy like that. So it's even older than the 1950s. But yeah, the Benedictine sandwich is a classic Kentucky tea sandwich featuring a spread made primarily of cream cheese and cucumber, invented in Louisville by Jeannie Carter Benedict around the turn of the 20th century. Yeah, like I said, 1902-ish, I think. Traditionally served as finger sandwiches, the crusts are trimmed, the bread is cut into triangles or fingers, often garnished with fresh herbs like dill and chives. And I know that you guys are just dying to know, how can I make one of these? Okay, you're probably not, but guess what? You're going to find out. So here's how to sandwich the sandwich.
Hi, this is Diana from the Kitchen Prep, and today we're making Benedictine spread. This Kentucky Derby classic is a cool, creamy spread used on tea sandwiches or spread on pumpernickel toasts. Hi, this is Diana from the Kitchen Prep.
All right, sorry about that loop. And yeah, I guess actually technically a cucumber sandwich because it's got basically the same stuff. Now, one thing I will say about that particular video, that video was the gist of how you're supposed to make the traditional one. One thing though that isn't traditional, and I think you all know what I'm about to say, Greek yogurt or sour cream, no, they didn't have that readily available in 1902 for random sandwiches, right? Yeah, I know I can turn it off. I just forgot to, Shock. That's all. I just forgot to. But instead of the Greek yogurt or the sour cream, traditionally they use mayonnaise. Duh, they use mayonnaise. And frankly, my best guess is traditionally they use Duke's mayonnaise, because Duke's mayonnaise is the Southern cook's choice of mayonnaise. We don't have Duke's up here in the Pacific Northwest, so we're stuck with Best Foods. And for those of you who don't have Best Foods, you're stuck with Hellmann's. Hellmann's, Best Foods, same thing. So there you go. And the lady who showed you, even though she did bring in the Greek yogurt instead of the mayonnaise, her recipe is pretty authentic. You have to be able to trust her because she was wearing the hat, okay? You know what I'm talking about, right? She was wearing the hat.
Hi, this is Diana from the Kitchen Prep, and today we're making Benedictine spread. This Kentucky Derby classic is...
That hat alone makes her trustworthy. Now, ladies all wear hats at the Derby. How did that get started? Pussycat, I don't know. Does anybody know? I mean, I can only assume it's because it takes place midday and they want to keep the sun off their faces, but like, we know it's more than that. Because the hats are just not, they're not hats, they're hats for the Derby, you know? And, let's see here, Picola Tea, when I was a kid, my mom forced me to eat bread crust that I didn't like. She said most of the vitamins were in there. Lies! Lies! Picola Tea, I don't think your mom was the only one who said that. And as a grown-up, that is so frustratingly, obviously stupid. Like, how do the kids fall for that? They do. I did. I totally did. But how do we fall for that? Like, what? All the vitamins go to the outside. I guess it probably stems from people who don't want to eat the potato skins. You know, it's like, well, all the nutrients are in the skin. You got to eat the skin. Maybe? Is that why? Is that why? And, yeah, well, exactly, Mama Sean. That's obviously, like, the basis for the need for a hat, right? Yeah. White ladies at the races have to, yeah, they don't want to get the tan. I understand that. That I do. I get it. But, like, derby hats aren't just any hat, you know? How did it evolve into stupidness? And so Terry in Scotland's got a theory about stupidness, which is women wear hats that can... Yep, that's what we do. Women wear hats at the Kentucky Derby primarily to honor a tradition of elegance and high society established by founder Colonel Meriwether Lewis Clark Jr., who modeled the race after British events like Royal Ascot that required formal attire. Originally a practice necessity to shield faces from the scorching May sun, the practice evolved into a symbol of social status, femininity, and southern hospitality. Let's see here. They took off as a competition. Exactly, it's a competition at this point. And so television apparently also influenced the stupid hats. It's the arms race concept of one-upping your competition at prominent events. Okay. And yeah, Piccola T, exactly. Some of today's fancy hats offer zero sun protection. Right, they've got the whole thing that's all up here and then going out sideways, and it's like, so one arm is in the shade? What? And let's see here. It's white ladies trying to wear black ladies' church hats, even at a non-religion event. Well, now, Andre, that's something to be said for that logic, actually. I don't know if that's exactly the conscious thought, but it absolutely is the logical connection. But you know, now that we're talking about hats, I really, really do wish that I grabbed a selection of photos of the preposterous hats that were worn yesterday. But instead, I was busy looking up information about the Booze Hall drinks and the finger sandwiches. So I didn't get to the fashion of the fashionable, so to speak. And there you go. Okay, so we are going to be circling back to the most important topic at hand, which is sandwiches. And Pussycat, not a fan of the Pukemento, aka the pimento, but I actually don't. I have heard of pimento cheese. And I know that pimentos are the red things in the olive. And I know that pimentos are a type of chili pepper, bell pepper, red pepper. But other than that, I don't like what is pimento cheese? Can anybody maybe help me figure out what what is pimento cheese? Please? I mean, maybe not please, maybe I don't want it, but can someone tell me what it is? And while I'm asking for that, Andre, thank you so much for those biddies coming in. Excuse me, Andre. Pimentos to me are in the class of capers. I can appreciate that logic. Capers, though, are pimentos, having never eaten a pimento except for in an olive, and that's already in a brine, so that tastes like it's the thing. Are pimentos, are they sour like capers are? You know how capers have a very tart, like a few capers go a long kind of way. Are pimentos like that strongly flavored, I guess is what I'm asking. And it's just cheese spread made with pimento. Okay, I don't really know. So the olive pimentos look just like the cheese pimentos, but how do you get the I guess I don't know how to make cheese spread. I guess is what I'm, so I got some cheddar cheese, and I shredded up some cheddar cheese, and I got some pimentos, and what, I just pour the jar of pimentos in with the shredded cheddar cheese? I don't think that sounds right. And yeah, cheese and pimento spread for sandwiches. Pimento's just red pepper pickled. Cool. Okay, so pimentos and capers are often frequently paired in Mediterranean and Latin American dishes, cuisines. Really, I think of capers as an Italian thing, often mixed called alcapadero, okay, whatever, of olives, pimentos, and capers. This combination offers a briny, tangy, and sweet flavor profile, ideal for enhancing rice stews, dishes, and chickens and stuff like that. Okay, so Darlene's helping me. More than likely, more cream cheese with chopped pimento, maybe a bit of pickle juice, and a bit of finely grated onion. Okay, and then Puzzycat saying I can have his. Okay, I might not like it, but at least it will have gone to waste twice instead of just once. I mean, I might like it, in which case it won't go to waste, but... So let's see here. Cheddar with cream cheese and pimento. Cheese, mayo, and pimento. Mash it all up. Okay. I guess... I don't know. I mean... Doesn't sound bad. Now, do you serve it hot or cold? Oh, I guess you're right. Italy is on the Mediterranean, isn't it? Listen, Andre, you and your facts and obviousness clearly need to be here, so thank you. Cheese, mayo, and pimento is the version I'm familiar with. Alright, and then Terry in Scotland. Pimento cheese is a spread traditionally made with shredded cheddar cheese. I've got that. Mayonnaise. I've got that. Chopped pimentos. I do not have that. Although it originated in the northern United States in the early 20th century using cream cheese, imported Spanish pimento and Spanish... Started out in northern... Words are hard, you guys. Words are hard. Early 20th century using cream cheese and imported Spanish pimentos. It became culturally associated with the southern United States after World War II, when local farmers began growing pimentos and cooks substituted sharp cheddar and mayonnaise. Got it. I know, Andre. That was a humiliating mistake that I made, not getting that the Mediterranean and Italian, same difference, silly woman. Anyway, okay, so Mama Sean, it's a cold spread. Okay. Yeah, all right. I might have to go to the south and try myself some pimento cheese sandwiches. But you know what I'm not gonna do when I go to the south? And I know these are fighting words. Oh, I know these are fighting words, but I will stand on this ground. I will be a hill I will die on. I don't want any of that sweet tea. Keep the sweet tea away from me. Oh my God, y'all. How do you drink sweet tea? I've tried it. I can't even get it down. How? Explain to me how you drink sweet tea. How? It's gross. Oh my goodness. Hey, Picola Tea, do you think pimento cheese would be good on a hot dog? That'll be the Statter Classic. Pimento cheese on a hot dog. Pimento cheese is, let's see here, cheese is also known as Carolina caviar. Oh, I did not know that. Okay. And, yes, exactly, Andre. Sweet tea, aka simple syrup with tea in it. That is exactly it, my friend. That is exactly it. And then, let's see here. When my daughter was little, she would always ask, where's mommy? And I would always say, cheese, not ear. Ah, that's funny. Cheese, not ear. Say that. Cheese, not ear. Yes, that's right. And shock, there's just no accounting for taste. Exactly. And the converse is also true, which is why you stop being a bookkeeper. Yeah, you know, Mama Sean, I'm assuming when you say white no crust bread, you mean how you're supposed to eat a pimento cheese sandwich. That seems reasonable because generally soft sandwich fillings need to go with a soft bread. Like an egg salad, right? You're not going to put an egg salad on a crusty ciabatta bread, but a nice fluffy white bread, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so C Honda's late. Yeah, you are, C Honda. We're coming in. We're coming in at the 2-minute mark. And but we were talking about you for a second. What were we saying that C Honda would know? Oh, there was something that you would know. It was Los Angeles. It was California. Ori. We knew you'd know something, and we wanted you to be here to know it for us, but now I don't know. Oh yeah, the puka dog. The puka dog. It wasn't about California. It was about Hawaii. Have you ever eaten a puka dog? That's the real question. See, I told you we were talking about you. Sorry, I don't mean to make you feel uncomfortable, but we were, because we thought, oh hey, somebody would know what a puka dog is, and because none of us did. And Picola Tea never did tell me what kind of weird fruit relish they put in them. And Darlene, you and I can share a pitcher iced tea any day. No sweet tea, just lemon slice for me. Exactly. Beautiful, beautiful. And let's see here. Yeah, so Picola Tea, not Picola Tea. So C Honda, have you had a puka dog? And if you have had a puka dog, did you like a puka dog? And if you didn't like a puka dog, why didn't you like a puka dog? Oh, you never ate one. You never had one yet, but you've wanted to. Okay. All right, there we go. So to answer your question, Picola Tea, no one's ever had one. And now we know. No one here's ever had one, except for maybe Picola Tea. So there we go. All right. It is officially the bottom of the hour, which means it is time for me to shut the flying fork up. All right. So I want to hope, just like Mama Sean says, hope you all have an amazing week. And we will, trust me, I will let you know if I make some of these things, especially like the pimento cheese. I've got almost all those things. Wait, I've got roasted red peppers in my pantry. I wonder if roasted red peppers chopped finely, would that work as a pimento? Because otherwise I've got all the ingredients. All 3 ingredients. So yeah, we'll have to give that a whirl. And oh my god, it is mango, pineapple, or coconut. Oh no. I don't know if I would like that. But not pickled, so not briny. Oh, you're right, Darlene, not pickled. Don't really want to go to the grocery store today, but I am feeling motivated to eat some pimento cheese, to try their pimento cheese. All right, well, I'm going to have to ponder my situation. It's now 1 minute past the bottom of the hour, so it is time to go. Hopefully we will see each other on Wednesday at 5 p.m. And if not, perhaps we'll see each other on next Saturday at 6 p.m. And if I remember correctly, next Saturday, I think we're going to be watching Zootopia 2 next Saturday. But I'm not sure. So there you go. All right. So see each other on Wednesday, hopefully 5 p.m. Thank you so much, Andre, for another 400 biddies. And if we don't, I'll see you when I see you, because, you know, life's got to happen. It is summer. Things are changing. And sometimes you want to be outside, not inside. So take care. See you soon. Ahui ho.